everybody, this is Ryan McClanahan with historythroughcards.com. I hope you're all doing very good today. You have to excuse me, I've gone through some surgery and I'm still recuperating. Everything is good, everything is fine. It's just the fact that my mouth has been altered in a good way. It's something that needed to be done a long time ago, and so I've just kind of relaxed for the last couple of weeks, maybe a month and a half, 2 months or so. So I'm still on the mend here, but as they say, the show must continue, and so today I thought I'd kind of tell you guys a little bit about a pitcher from the 1960s and 70s that I really wasn't aware of until my buddy Chris from Stories in Cardboard had kind of alluded me to. In fact, Nelson Briles is the pitcher, and I thought his story is something that I would like to revamp for all of you, especially the younger collectors out there who might not know the name. And traditionally, I have a kind of a hard time with a lot of collectors who say, I don't know who that is, XYZ player. Therefore, I'm not going to collect his cards because I don't know who he is. I don't like that. It's something that really makes me quick to anger, and I was there once too, and I sometimes I forget about that not everybody knows who a lot of these players are from the past, and players that I think collectors should know. And I will be the first one to say that is an educational thing, that a lot of collectors don't care about the education of the hobby, who players were in the past and who founded the hobby. And I get really upset by that kind of stuff, and maybe it's just me getting older, or it's just kind of getting under the skin of a lot of older collectors or vintage collectors more than the modern guys. On the flip side, too, I don't really know a lot of the modern ball players, and I don't really kind of collect a lot of modern stuff. So I'm really kind of right there where I could easily say, I don't know who that XYZ modern ball player is, therefore I'm not going to collect his cards. I think there's a kind of a difference though too, is that I am willing to learn about these ball players, and then for me it's a little bit different because I'm not a dealer, I'm not a flipper, I'm not a repack or anything like that. I'm a true collector and a historian, according to a lot of people. So I can understand that there are two sides of that coin, and so today I thought I'd tell you a little bit about Nelson Biles. I think he's got a fantastic story, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. Here we go. This is from the Gainesville Times, Gainesville, Georgia, March 17th, 1974. Today's Sports Parade by Milton Richmond. Hey Hank, Fort Myers, Florida. Hank Aaron can only picture what people's reaction to the record will be. Nelson Briles already knows. He has been getting reports from Atlanta, Kansas City, and Pittsburgh, and from all accounts, as they say in showbiz, Briles' record is killing the people. That means it's going over well. The record is done country style, called Hey Hank, and it's subtitled, I know you're gonna do it, but please don't hit it off me. Briles, a 14-game winner for Pittsburgh last season, who was traded to Kansas City for three players this past December, cut the platter for Capitol Records, and the first session alone took him 8 hours. It is my first record, says the 30-year-old right-hander who hopes to stay in the entertainment business when he's finished with baseball. And in some ways, it's even tougher than pitching. There's a lot of mental strain in making a record. Your total personality becomes involved. Briles did the record before the Pirates traded him. The second verse had to be rewritten, he says. We're going to use the names of a number of National League pitchers, which I was one. Then when I was traded, Dan Aurelio, who wrote the lyrics, had to change them to make them more general. Now, when I sang, "Hey Hank, I know you're gonna do it, but don't hit one off me," I'm representing all pitchers. Briles discovered that he had singing talent largely by accident. He began by doing imitations for his own amusement. He did people like Richard Nixon, John Wayne, and comedian Paul Lynde. They went over much better than he expected, and the next thing he knew, he was being encouraged to sing. The California-born Briles has a good voice, good enough so that the Mets asked him to sing the national anthem at Shea Stadium before the fourth game of the World Series with the Oakland A's. Briles did an excellent job and drew a lot of fine comment. He also has sung in nightclubs, and on April 8th, NBC TV will show him doing that in one of their segments during the Monday night game of the week from Atlanta. At the moment, Briles is getting accustomed to his new surroundings here with the Royals. "This is a nice relaxed atmosphere," he says. "Most of the players with this club have never won, so they have a greater desire to do so. I like the manager too. Jack McKeon plays good fundamental baseball. I feel I'm going to enjoy being part of this club." Briles, who started 33 games for the Pirates last year and had a 2.84 earned run average for them, is being counted on as one of KC's regular starters. His progress this spring has been slowed somewhat because of the dislocated kneecap he suffered while working out in a Pittsburgh gym during the winter. Briles is now running at full speed, though. The producer of his first record, Tony Batella, also a lead singer for the Letterman, feels the chunky Royals right-hander has a future in show business. One of the things in the works is a future movie with Briles in a key role. "Hey Hank, this guy doesn't even hit home runs." This is from the Sentinel, Carlisle, Pennsylvania, February 15th, 2005. Briles, ex-Pittsburgh hurler, dies at the age of 61. The former Pirates pitcher won 2 World Series titles by Allen Robinson. Pittsburgh. Big games never worried Nelson Briles. Briles, who won 2 World Series titles during a 14-year career as a control pitcher, who thrived in important games, died Sunday of an apparent heart attack at age 61. Briles was stricken during a Pittsburgh Pirates alumni golf tournament in Orlando, Florida. The right-handed Briles took pride in his competitiveness while going 129-112 during a 14-season Major League career spent mostly with the Cardinals and Pirates. He played on 5 pennant or division-winning teams, going a combined 69-44 with 2 World Series victories during those seasons. "I always felt that if it was a tough game, my teammates wanted me on the mound," Briles once said. Briles, who was influenced by Hall of Famer Bob Gibson's never-give-in attitude after joining the Cardinals in 1965, went 61-54 with the Cardinals from 1965 to 1970, including a 1911 record in 1968. He was traded to the Pirates, where he went 36-28 over the next 3 seasons before later pitching for Kansas City, Texas, and Baltimore in a career that lasted from 1965 to 1978. Briles, known to his teammates as Nellie, was a broadcaster with the Pirates, Mariners, and USA Network's Major League Game of the Week from 1979 to 1985, before being hired as the Pirates' Director of Corporate Projects in 1986. He ran the Pirates Alumni Association for more than 700 members, gave countless speeches to civic and youth baseball groups, and headed a Pirates alumni golf tournament that raised more than $1 million for charity. This is such a huge loss. It will take a couple of people to do everything he did, said Sally O'Leary, a retired Pirates publicist who also works with the Alumni Association. He was always available to talk to people and was a very positive person and represented the ball club in so many ways. Born August 5th, 1943 in Doris, California, a town he often said no longer exists. Briles was raised in Chico, California, before pitching at Santa Clara University. He made his major league debut at age 22 in September 1965, losing a 1-0 decision to Dodgers' Sandy Koufax. Briles was 14-5 with a 2.43 ERA in 1967. He won 9 consecutive starts after Gibson's leg was broken by a Roberto Clemente line drive before beating Boston 5-2 in Game 3 of the World Series. Briles also played a key role in Pittsburgh's 1971 title run by pitching a 2-hit shutout in World Series Game 5 against Baltimore. No Orioles runner reached second base in the 4-0 Pirates victory. Images of Briles delivering pitches with such force that both legs often left the mound during his follow-through were captured in the 1971 World Series highlight film. A lot of people in baseball told me it was the best game ever pitched in the World Series, except for Don Larson's perfect game, said Briles, who was 2-1 with a 2.59 ERA in 3 career World Series starts. I faced only 29 batters. It was the best game I ever pitched. Orioles manager Earl Weaver later called Game 5 the pivotal game of the series, though the underdog Pirates needed Steve Blass's complete Game 4 hitter to win Game 7 in Baltimore 2-1. Asked about Briles, Weaver said, though not seriously, I hate that guy. I hate that guy. Briles' best regular season start came a year later. A one-hit shutout to beat Hall of Famer Juan Marchial and the Giants 1-0. Briles lost a perfect game when Ken Henderson beat out an infield single. Briles retired at age 34, 4 years after a knee injury sustained with the Royals adversely affected his pitching for the rest of his career. The following season, he was a TV broadcaster for the 1979 World Series champion Pirates. Briles was known for his control and ability to locate pitches. Even during his 50s and 60s, he could effortlessly throw strikes during the Pirates fantasy camps he ran each winter in Bradenton, Florida. He was the director of the most recent camp only 2 weeks ago. One of those attending was Hall of Fame second baseman Bill Mazeroski, who was also among those playing golf Sunday when Briles died. Briles spent years campaigning for Mazeroski's election to the Hall of Fame, which finally came in 2001. Briles was planning to retire next year so he could spend more time with his 4 children and grandchildren, O'Leary said. Pirates' family is deeply saddened by Nellie's passing, and our thoughts are with his wife, Ginger, their children and grandchildren. Nellie was a valuable member of the Pirates organization for many years, Pirates owner Kevin McCratchy said in a statement. I thought this was really interesting, and this is one of the things that I really enjoy about the hobby is learning about ball players that I might not have heard before or just barely heard, and seeing cards that I've never seen before and talking about this stuff and kind of bringing some of these guys back to life, if you will. And I can understand that there's a lot of younger collectors that may not have heard some of the names that I'm very used to. And again, I really have to be patient with some of these people because we've all been in the same boat and we all start out from scratch, if you will, or a clean slate where we all have to learn on our own for the most part. I thought that this was really cool, and just to kind of tell you about some of these lesser known ball players and kind of like bring them back to life and uh, share these stories with you guys. Not everybody is going to have that same sentiment. I definitely understand that. And I can understand where a lot of vintage collectors are like, oh, well, only modern collectors are only interested in money and flipping. And that may be true to a certain extent. And I understand that, but at the same point in time too, I think you can make more money doing other things than flipping baseball cards. I think that's a real leather ass grind, if you ask me, and it's something that I think you have to have a real passion for the hobby to be doing that stuff. To get in your car and drive and set up at a show, either in state or out of state. And you know, I'm not sure where I feel about that. I know it's a little bit different than what I'm talking about here with Nelson Briles, but at the same time too, there are so many great stories out there of these ball players, and a lot of it's just being lost. I think that, it may be too much information, is what. But again, like I'm a storyteller. This show is really about the history of sports and sports cards and history through cards, after all. And I did hear from a few people actually, that said, like, who cares about these players? I care. Otherwise, I wouldn't be having a channel. And I know that a lot of people don't really watch this channel much, and maybe that's just me. I'm not sure. There's only so much that I'm going to do with my voice and whatever. God knows what else. The information I'm giving to you isn't for everybody. And so I thought today really wanted to tell you guys about Nelson Briles and his career. I'm going to leave a link below that you can listen to Hey Hank. I listened to it and I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really cool. And there's more to the hobby than just buying and selling. And I understand you have to have both collectors and dealers. It should really be 50-50. I'm not even sure if that's correct today, with the way things are going. And I don't let what's going on in the modern side of the hobby get me down. It's not why I collect. I don't really like that kind of drama. I'm kind of too old for drama, to tell you the truth. Um, I got more important things to worry about at this point in my life. The first world issues really kind of bother me, more so than what's going on in a hobby where people just absolutely love drama for whatever reason. I don't understand it. Nelson, he passed away relatively young. 61, I think, is really pretty young. One of the things that they mention is that he died on a golf course. And what a lot of people don't realize is that that's one of the top five places that a man can die or will die is on a golf course. For whatever reason, I've never understood it because I only play mini golf, but a lot of guys die on the golf course. It's again one of the top five places, and a heart attack on a golf course is one of the leading killers, I think, of golfers. Well, I kind of joke about that, and actually, it's kind of true. I thought it was a place where you can relax and hit a couple of golf balls with your buddies and maybe have a beer afterwards or something like that. Not a very stressful place. Apparently, it is a very stressful place. Who knew? So I don't think you're going to catch me on a golf course, although I always say take care of your health, eat healthy, and exercise regularly, and save your money. Buying cards isn't really going to kill you unless it's a couple of $1,000s a piece. But for the most part, this hobby is supposed to be relaxing. At least I find it relaxing, and I really enjoy hanging out with fellow card collectors when I go to shows, which is usually often. And so, guys, I'm going to leave it here. I really wanted to introduce to you Nelson Briles and his story. I thought it was really cool. If you have any stories about Nelson Briles, I'd love to hear them as always. And Until the next one, guys, take care. Thanks a lot. Bye.